All of you here today should be profoundly proud of yourselves, not just because you might win a competition or you might create something absolutely brilliant, but simply because you took that first step. That first step came much later for me, and that confidence in myself really didn't hit me until after college. I remember looking for ATA's office at the computer science building at Stanford, and I ran across the the office of Larry and Sergey from Google. And their name tags were still posted on there, even though they'd already reaped all the rewards of Google fame. I thought, wow, that is pretty rad. I could never do that. And that being some magical combination of skills, brains, and ingenuity to start a company and become a real live Silicon Valley entrepreneur. I said it with awe, like I was talking about Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie. That's how geeky I was. And you know what? It took my dumb friends to set me straight. And how did they do that? They did it because they were simply being their dumb selves. And they didn't allow some arbitrary mental roadblock to prevent them from following a passion. They're not actually dumb, but they got C's on the same test that I got, and they had trouble on the same concepts that I had. But what made them different? What made them start their own company? They took that first step. So it opened my eyes, and with that, the possibilities blossomed. Why couldn't I do that? Why was I so afraid? Why am I so damn shy? And all these questions are running through my head. And by now, in college, the fear of pimples had kind of faded, so it left a lot more room for more profound thoughts. I was young and mostly responsibility-free. What did I have to lose? A year or two without salary? A career climbing the corporate ladder? I realized that there was nothing really I could lose. So I was no different than my friends who left their jobs and said, I can do this. And with that, I got my butt in gear. And of course, it all sounds easy coming from me now, but it wasn't like I had some epiphany and then bam, Meebo just popped out. It took 2 years of hard work to get Meebo off the ground. It took a lot of squashing of self-doubt, learning a lot of new and unfamiliar technologies, and perseverance. And as it was all going on, a wonderful, wonderful thing started to happen. I really started to believe in myself. I was a nervous mess of a public speaker earlier in my career, and I love to speak. I love events like this. I used to prep for hours on end for a 20-minute panel, and now I can usually wing them most of the time. I knew next to nothing about managing a cluster of servers, building a scalable web application, hiring a team, and now people come to me for advice on how to do these things. Me, the geeky little girl who didn't actually get that 5 on that AP exam. And I can tell you now, AP exams are not the end of the world. So don't stress out. Confidence in oneself is amazingly powerful. I was riddled with insecurities even after I decided to start my own company. What if someone asked me a question that I don't know the answer to? What if I'm not smart enough to really do this? What if this? What if that? And the chatter in my head would have filled 6 movie scripts. So I'll tell you about a time when that chatter became absolutely deafening. Seth and Elaine, my 2 co-founders, and I were lined up to pitch our company to Sequoia Capital. These are the VCs that funded Google, Yahoo, and YouTube. You might say they have a pretty good track record. We each had our part in the presentation, and of course, mine was all about the technology. Here I am, short, geeky little girl, only one nice outfit, which I recycled for many, many other pitches. Expected to wow a room full of older, presumably wiser men, collectively worth some billions of dollars. And to say I was nervous would be a massive understatement. So we practiced and practiced, and I was deathly afraid they'd ask me something that I didn't know. I thought of all of the edge cases, bugs, design decisions, code blocks we tackled. I tried to keep them all straight in my head. Until hours later, I took a step back and thought, wait, why would this guy in a suit actually ask me about my code? He doesn't know how to code. Why would he ask me about this? And so I was so caught up in my own little world of trying to be the expert that I actually forgotten I was already the expert. I had built the product. I had designed it. Of course I knew it inside and out. Why was I so worried? And I was worried because I wasn't confident when I should have been. And that is a trait I see all too often in members of our gender. I believe women tend to short sell themselves. We make excuses for our accomplishments. We attribute our successes to factors beyond our control. Has someone ever complimented you on one of your achievements only to have you respond with, oh, that was nothing? Stop doing that. Quiet that chatter. It was nothing. It was absolutely awesome. I never really noticed that fact that I was a woman in a predominantly male-dominated industry. I'd gotten so used to it that I'd simply adapted to what I thought was normal. I remember having to take a humanities class for a general education requirement at Stanford, and finding the experience really odd for the first few weeks, and I couldn't figure out why. And I then realized it was because the male-female ratio was 50-50. I thought, wow, I really need to open my eyes. So for many of you, this is something you will and may have already encountered. Know that as you progress in your careers, if you choose to continue in tech, you'll probably stand out. I would ask that instead of trying to hide it, I would embrace it. The potential locked away in all the faces I see here is enormous. I see future builders of amazing innovations. I think because you are a woman, you bring to the table something unique and very, very special. There have been studies that say companies with women in key management roles tend to be more successful. I don't find that surprising at all. Today, my company is 180 people, and we've been around for 6.5 years. I still love what I do, and I love working with the team I build. My engineering team is comprised mostly of men, but in the future, I hope the industry ratio improves because women like you are taking those first steps. Be ambitious, be passionate, don't be afraid, don't doubt yourself. Believe what you can do, and do it you will. Thank you.